We are back. Pretty decent pack here. We got a strip mine. Also, Orcish Lumberjack and Ice Till could potentially wheel to accompany the strip mine. So, yeah, definitely picking that up. It's a great card on its own, but yeah, hopefully we could wheel one of those spells, find our way in the combo deck. Right now, there's Ancestral Recall on the wheel, which is questionable. There's not many pieces of power better than this. I guess really just Black Lotus, and there's an argument for Time Walk, but yeah, definitely picking up Ancestral here. And overall, this is a great pack too. Polluted Delta, Counterspell, Birds of Paradise, but yeah, can't pass up an Ancestral Recall here. Right now, there's a Goyf, also Snapcaster to buy back the Ancestral, and that can definitely be good, the Snapcaster Ancestral Recall combo, but I don't think I want to force it this early, especially when there's a card like Firegoyf in the pack. I think this, I think Snapcaster you definitely want to be picking if you have a more focused deck towards it with a bunch of cheap removal cantrips, stuff like that. I don't think I would want it if my only target for it was Ancestral Recall. Also, I mean, cards like Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, uh, once you cast them, you're usually already winning the game. So buying them back isn't insanely crucial. So yeah, for that reason, I think I'm gonna go with the Pyrogoyf. Learner Field is also good, decent fixing, but yeah, Pyrogoyf is premium. All right, now we see Entomb Corpse Dance. It's also Batroc. We already picked up a Pyrogoyf, so I don't think I'm super interested in that. Um, Lutri plus Ancestral Recall allows you to spend 7 mana to draw 6, which, not that good. I think most powerful card is just Entomb. We also passed a Echovians. Could definitely wheel that. And yeah, I think I am in an open enough spot where I could take Entomb and Spec on a Reanimate combo type deck. Alternatively, maybe I'd take Oculus or Batroc, but I think Entomb is enough better. Right now we have Hogak plus Survival of the Fittest in the same pack. Entomb good with Hogak. Other than that, I guess we have Arena of Glory, Ketria Triome, maybe Bone Shards for the reanimate thing. Honestly, though, this looks like a spot for Hogak. I could take Survival of the Fittest and try and wheel it too. I think generally people draft Survival of the Fittest a little bit higher than Hogak, but yeah, I'll do that. That's a pick I probably wouldn't have made in a more strong, little bit stronger pack, but that pack was weak enough, I think, to spec. All right, another kind of weak pack. Um, Just Better Triumph. It's a decent removal spell. Kaito, but we haven't really got any ninja support yet. Super Shredder's good. Good in the sorts of decks that Hogak is good in. Um, it's also fixing that we don't really care about. And maybe a reoccurring nightmare. Yeah, I'll just take the removal, I guess. Bitter Triumph is also good because gives us outs for Reanimator if we get there. There's a giant nettle cyst on my screen. If we can get rid of that. Okay, so there's an Elspeth and a Legend of Roku underneath the nettle cyst. I haven't seen any white yet, but Elspeth is pretty strong. There we go. It's also Stern Scolding. Yeah, maybe we just take the interaction. I think I definitely want to be in blue in some capacity since we have the recall. And Stern Scolding is pretty good interaction. Right now we see Surveillance Cam for the Goblin Welder combo. There's also Alpha Deathclaw, which is a decent reanimate target. But there's also Rumble. And yeah, it looks pretty sweet, especially if we wheel Hogak. But we also have Strip Mine that we can dig for. So yeah, it seems decent. Now we do get back the Ice Till. And I think we probably take that over Lumberjack. I don't even know if I want to be playing red. Get the Birds of Paradise too. Sweet. Yeah, I think that's the pick. Echo comes back as well for the Entomb. Although, this isn't looking like the best Echo deck. We kind of care about our graveyard. So maybe we just take Collective Brutality instead as a piece of interaction that doubles as a discard outlet. Yeah, now this looks like the spot for Corpse Sense. And Hogak does wheel, sweet. All right, this deck looks great. I really like the Hogak deck when it can also sneak in a Reanimator sub-theme, because basically all the spells that are good with Reanimator, like self-mill spells that fill the graveyard, Entomb, tutors like that, are also good in Hogak. Right now there's a new one in Mystic Forge, kind of a combo piece. I didn't see this Wasteland. Definitely picking that up with Ice Steel Explorer. Yeah, this might be a deck where we want to play like 18 lands, probably, to make up for our colorless sources. Right now there's a Bayou, which is pretty nice. Yeah, we're not much else. This is definitely looking more like a Golgari deck than a Sultai deck. I think the Ancestral Recall might be a bit of an awkward splash. Um, but now we see some powerful blue cards. Daze, Teferi, although Teferi is probably not what we're looking for since it's a white spell too. There's Zernorb for if we pick up Titania. Swing Mycospawn to tutor our Strip Mine Wasteland. Maybe we could try and wheel that. Just take Bristly Bill to start. I guess Bristly Bill doesn't really help our game plan that much, though. Do I want Grim Monolith? I don't think so. I don't think I want a Tali. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky pick. Guess I'll just go with the Mycospawn. Alright, couple more Mana Dorks definitely interested in picking up. There's also a Sultai Triome, which is perfect in our deck. Ignoble fixes for black, which is solid. Green Sun's Zenith might be interesting at some point too, but not really right now. The best card in the pack might be Mana Leak. I mean, I didn't see a huge indication that blue is open pack one. So I think I will just pick up the Hierarch. Actually, the Triumph might be the more responsible pick. Yeah, and there's two Mana Dorks in the pack, plus a Green Suns. I think I'm going to wheel one of them. And now we have Dark Depths. And we already have Sowing Mycospawn. It's also White of the Reliquary, which can tutor our Wasteland Stripmine combo. Yeah, it looks decent. Formidable Speaker finds Hogak. And yeah, I think we have a good chance of wheeling either white or, yeah, I don't think we're playing Dark Depth, so white of the Reliquary really to where I'd like to take the Speaker here. All right, nice. We get another Mana Dork, but there's also a Traxa and a 3-color Fetch, thanks to our Triome. Don't think this looks like a great spot for LED. Terra Sunder would be great on the wheel, but yeah, I think it's probably between Atraxa and the Fetch land here. Yeah, with Entomb and one Animate already. Probably just go with Atraxa. I also have Bitter Triumph and Collective Brutality to put it in the graveyard. That seems decent. And now there's Currency Converter as another discard outlet. Overgrown Tomb isn't super important since I already have the Bayou. It's a Badgermole Cub and a Town Greeter as other options. I think it's between the Badgermole, the Town Greeter, and Badgermole is very good, but Town Greeter does exactly what this deck wants it to. Just fills the graveyard for Hogak. Could also mill a Atraxa. Wow, we wheel Pest Infestation. That's pretty surprising. There's also two decent red lands that we're seeing pretty late, but yeah, I don't think we want to play a fourth color here. I already definitely want to be splashing the Ancestral Recall. So I think we just take the powerful green spell here. And now there's Nissa or Leovold. I think Nissa looks good. Not crazy about Leovold. It's pretty easy to play around the drawing one card per turn. And yeah, it's kind of just hard to cast 3/3, whereas Nissa can end games pretty quickly. All right, we get back Bristly Bill and Zernorb. I think I probably just want the 2-drop here. There's a chance we get back Titania, but we already have Wasteland Strip Mine. There's a chance we pick up some fetches too. And I don't think we've seen a Sylvan Safekeeper either, which is, I think, the stronger combo piece. All right, everything from this pack wheels. That's nice. Um, so the question is whether we want a Green Sun Zenith or an Ignoble Hierarch. Yeah, I have nothing that good to find off Green Suns besides like Mana Dork, so probably rather just take the Hierarch. White wheels, so does Terra Sunder. Nice, we're getting everything. All right, so definitely could use a bit more fixing. Our Hogak combo looks good, but I think Reanimator could use a bit more support. So maybe we pick up a Reanimate or Animate Dead. Pack 3, that would be great. All right, we have a Death. That's solid. Extricker, also very good. Just a super powerful threat on its own, but also can voke that Hogak. Yeah, I think with Entomb, Atraxa, Death is a little too good to pass up. All right, now there's Crop Rotation, which can tutor one of my lands. It's also Fanatic of Ronus. Multiversal Passage is decent fixing. And yeah, maybe we just take that and try and wheel something out of this pack. Natural Order is actually interesting too with Atraxa. Yeah, it looks pretty legit actually. But I think casting spells is probably going to be our priority here. Getting our fixing where it needs to be. There's Inquisition, but also Minsc and Boo. Yeah, we haven't picked up any red fixing, but Minsc and Boo is just insane. Is it better in our deck than just an Inquisition? Maybe not. I don't know. This is a tough pick. Yeah, I think we are better off probably just taking Inquisition, as powerful as Minsc and Boo is. Right now there's Noble Hierarch. Oh, there's also Reanimate. Not sure how I skipped over that one. Definitely taking that. And Gristlebrand looks decent too, but Verdant, probably too good to pass up on here. Yeah, we need to take the fixing. Wow, we are getting some insane packs late. So, Barragoyf, Dark Ritual both look great, but Barragoyf is excellent with the Reanimator plus Hogak with the Self Mill. Also is just an insane threat on its own. Yeah, maybe we should have moved into red. Renin 6 is awesome with our Strip Mine Wasteland combo, but I think it's probably too late for that. Fire Covenant also probably the most powerful card in the pack, but I think we missed out on our chance to move into red, so. Okay, now there's a Halfling, and I don't have many legends, but it's just a decent mana dork on its own. It's also Anger. We're not playing red though. Spar's Headquarter as a blue-green land, but we already have that with Zagoth Tram. So yeah, I think I'll just take the Halfling. Probably gonna sideboard it, but okay. No, there's Fast Bond. Unfortunately, didn't pick up a Bizarre. Master of Death would have been good with that, but yeah, maybe we just take Fast Bond here. Allows us to go infinite with our Strip Mine, and I think we already want to be playing 18 lands in this deck anyway. Alright, I don't think there's much we're looking to wheel from this pack. I guess we'll just take a Wistfulness, maybe. Right, this was the good pack. Vicious Rivalry, Crop Rotation to find one of our lands. We already have white. We already have Sowing Mycospawn. I don't think that's a huge priority. I think the next pack maybe had Natural Order. Here, I think we just take Vicious Rivalry as some decent interaction. And now there's Force of Vigor or a Verge. I think we're good on playables, though. I'll just take the land. There we get another Elf. Nothing for us here. All right. Okay, I think that draft went pretty well. Making Ancestral Recall work. Honestly, it might have done more damage to our deck than it helped it, but see if we can make our mana work. Looking at our playables, we have 29 spells, and I think we want to play 22 spells, 18 lands with our double Strip Mine Wasteland combo. So, don't think we need 3 mana dorks. Start by cutting Lenore Elves. Fast Bond's questionable. Yeah, I don't think we want Bristly Bill. I like Bitter Triumph Collective Brutality to discard our Atraxa or Hogak if we find them. Grist isn't that good. Formidable Speaker's nice to tutor. any one of our combo piece creatures. Nissa, probably don't need. I think I have a lot of win conditions with both my combos. Maybe white is a little bit slow. Yeah, survival, unfortunately, gets significantly worse when you don't have access to the Vengevine and Root Wallas. So probably gonna want to cut that. Although it does serve as a tutor and a discard outlet for Atraxa, which is pretty powerful. Maybe we side out Brutality. And I guess we can try this. Yeah, I did say I was going to play 18 lands, but having to make some difficult cuts here. Guess we could side out Pest Infestation, although that spell is just good on its own. And it's rare that there's a matchup where it doesn't have targets. Could also side out the board wipe. Yeah, maybe that's the best play. I think that's probably one of the weaker cards in our deck too. Alright, let's bring the mana back in, see how we're looking. For blue sources, we have one, two, three. I think that's good enough probably just for the Ancestral Recall. We also have Currency Converter to generate treasures, and Birds of Paradise can cast it as well. So yeah, we'll see if we have room for more blue fixing, but for now I think I just want to make sure that my green and black fixing's there. Um, we have a lot more green spells than black, but Entomb, Reanimate, Inquisition are all spells I want to be casting pretty early, so I think we want to have a pretty even split on our mana. After adding my Swamps and Forests, though, I think we might have room for an island. Currently, we have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 green sources, and one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight black sources. So probably want to add one more black source, maybe one more blue, and then have four sources for recall plus converter and birds. I think that looks good enough. Oh, I guess we're one over on lands. I just cut a forest, go down to nine and nine. I guess I added an island too, so let's see, one, two. Yeah, I'll go one more forest in that case. I think that puts us to 10 green, 9 black, which I think looks good. And yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this deck. Definitely could have used a Vengevine and some Root Wallas, rest in peace, but hopefully we can make it work. I think we have a pretty strong Hogak plan with Atraxa Reanimator as a backup. And then also we could Strip Mine Wasteland lock our opponent too. So yeah, I think this deck looks pretty solid. Match one, run the play against Root Potato. Hand looks pretty sweet. Turn to Baragoi Fluff Fast Bond. And guess I don't need to play out my lands. Yeah, I don't think there's much of a chance that my opponent has a turn one disenchant. I guess I could play out one land since I'm going to be taking a damage from it next turn anyway. Opponent with the Lutri Companion. Right, nice. No disenchant. Sweet. There's a wasteland. Yeah, strip mine would have been better, but not complaining too much. Something Mycospawn could find strip mine though, put it onto the battlefield. And yeah, that actually seems pretty good. Deal with my opponent's island, and then we could use Formidable Speaker to tutor a um, Ice Explorer, put them on a strip mine lock. And yeah, I think at this point the game is probably over unless they can counter this. Yeah. Turn one, I have 5 lands, you have 0. Seems pretty decent. And days, I mean, just helps me. I'm not sure really why they did that. Oh my god, I can pay for it too. What is my opponent doing? Yeah, so the tutoring of a land is a cast trigger. So I got to find the strip mine first. So I mean, even if they had a counter spell, I'd have been able to deal with it, and wow, what a beating. All right. So yeah, I think our strip mine wasteland combo is pretty good, it seems. And yeah, fast bond looking decent too. Hopefully match two can be that easy. Come on, turn one Atroxa. Okay, not quite, but actually, yeah, this hand might have to mulligan. Only land is a colorless one. We could go turn one currency converter, but yeah, we still need to draw our second land. So I think we just mulligan. Yeah, this hand looks much better. Put back a Hogak. Could also just put back a death since we already have reanimate. And then Hogak will be nice, discard fodder to survival of the fittest. Turn one, Dark Slick Shores. And we draw a forest. So I could strip mine. It's probably better just to lead on converter. Suplex steals the converter. That's fine. I think now we probably just strip the Dark Slick Shores. Hopefully put them off mana. Yeah, we draw another land. I could also survival first. That way next turn we could strip mine and then survival for a mana dork, play that. I would also set up for a Atraxa a bit sooner. So I think I will do that. Alright, opponent has a strip mine of their own. And yeah, doesn't really hurt me that much. Opponent holding up mana. I think this turn we probably just strip their Dark Slick Shores and tutor a mana dork. Could also tutor a mana dork, cast it, and that way next turn, if the Birds of Paradise survives, we could reanimate. But we could also yeah, it's probably better. I'll discard Hogak. Oh, I guess yeah, that's right. I have to discard a creature card to survival. So Maybe Ice Till's better? No, I think just playing out birds is probably still going to be our best bet. In that case, maybe we do just strip mine this turn, since we need to draw a creature anyway for survival. Not sure. It's a good chance my opponent's holding a counterspell too. Yeah. Huh. I think with the animate in hand, we just find Atraxa, and then we can just strip their land this turn. Now, any black land, and we have Atraxa. But next turn, we can also just use Atraxa to tutor for a mana dork. And then if we untap with that, we can cast the animate. Our opponent does have a land to follow it up into a preordain. Our best draw is definitely a swamp here. Okay, forest. You know, we probably just play on a mana dork, discarding Atraxa. Is it Atraxa or Atraxa? Not really sure. Maybe Noble's better since it has Exalted. Not really sure. I guess birds could cast our Ancestral Recall if we find it though, so yeah, I'll go for that. Alright, hopefully no Lightning Bolt for my opponent. Alright, let's see if we can untap with the birds. If not, we're still just in the waiting room for a swamp, which is okay. Yep. Now we play a force first to play around Mana Leak. Then we'll go for the animate. Kind of a feeling my opponent has a counterspell here. Yep, Force of Will. And they exile Time Spiral. Alright, we're still looking good. Any creature next turn allows us to find an Ice Till Explorer that we can strip mine lock our opponent. Chase is a little bit annoying. We can exile that though. As long as they don't bounce our birds. I doubt they will. They'll probably just brainstorm here. Nice. Okay, Pest Infestation. So here we just tear asunder. The Jace. And then I'll play my land as well. Opponent only has 2 cards in hand. And this is going to look pretty good for us if we can just find a creature and activate survival. Opponent is hitting all their land drops though, which is kind of annoying. Time Warp, not that bad though, with 0 cards in hand. Let's see what they drew. Could also just put Lutri into hand. Oh, they hardcast Fury, that's fine. Yep, need to kill my birds. Right, Town Greeter. Yeah, now we actually can't discard that to the survival since our mana dork died. won't be able to afford the ice still, so maybe we just town greeter, hopefully bring back a land, and then we can use that to cast the pest infestation, and we could convoke out Hogak. Right, recall and Bargoyf are sad cards to mill. We do find an island. Play that. Cast pest infestation. Right, now we convoke Hogak. Right, I think this is a decent spot. Might be past the point where using survival to find an ice still is that good, but if my opponent continues to just top deck lands, it could be good. Right, I might be trying to kill my Hogak, but we can just recast it, so I'm fine with this trade. Yeah, it's not going to work that well for you. Draw land. We just convoke out the Hogak. And we have 6 spells in graveyard, so yeah, we can just exile our entire graveyard to cast it. That does get rid of Strip Mine, but I think we're past that point. Might have been better just to convoke the Pest, but 1 damage isn't nothing here. Gets them down to clean 16 for double Hogak hit. Hogak is going to be pretty hard to deal with for my opponent. Not playing white, so don't have too many exile effects. Alright, we keep drawing lands. We'll just name black with this. And we can swing with the team. Alright, loot tree to block town greeter, I guess. Okay, pass, that's fine. Alright, see if my opponent can play something to come back here, otherwise they're dead next turn. Sweet. Alright. Nice game 1. Yeah, second match was a little more difficult, but last game we beat them on turn 1, and that one we were just able to grind them out with our Hogak. Um, don't think there's anything in my sideboard I'm dying to put in. I guess we could consider trying to play red for Renin 6 and Pyroglyph. But I think I like our main deck, and I think I'd rather play Ancestral Recall than both of those. So yeah, we'll just keep it like this. See you guys in match 2. Alright, match 2 against Easter Egg. Hand looks good. Hogak to pitch to Bitter Triumph. We find Strip Miner Wasteland. We could take advantage of the Ice Still Explorer. Unfortunately, our Birds isn't available turn 1. Oh no, actually it is with Wasted Birds, that's right. Let's see, I'll go turn 1 Birds, I think. Against blue-black. But we can answer a psychic frog, so that's fine. Okay. Consider possibly looking for a land drop. That's good news if we can find a strip mine or wasteland. To figure, okay. So it looks like they're a creature-based deck. Fast bounce great. Yeah, go with that. And we can hold up Bitter Triumph. Unfortunately, we can't cast Ice Till. We could have if Zagoth was on tap, but that's fine. So yeah, if they play something, we need to Bitter Triumph, that's fine. We can just pitch the Hogak, and then the Mill with Ice Till should hopefully allow us to cast Hogak from the graveyard pretty soon. If they pump their figure, I think I'll just kill it too. Alright, they don't. Magda, I will Bitter Triumph. Okay, we draw a land. So just start with Ice Till. And then hopefully you can mill a strip mine or something. Okay, life death, not the best spell to mill, but that's fine. If we can start chaining together land drops with Ice Till, we should be able to cast Hogak in like 2 turns. And for the time being, Hogak, sorry, Ice Till blocks figure pretty nicely. Yeah, death would have been really nice to draw. Would have definitely used that on Hogak, but it is what it is. All right, Legend of Roku. Right, it discards some good ones. Town Greeter's a good draw, fills our graveyard, and potentially could find us like a strip mine or wasteland. That's really good. Um, yeah, hopefully find a good land with that. At the very least, we're going to be able to play Hogak. Okay, Verdant is decent. Yeah, unfortunately, we milled both our animate spells. Oh, I guess we have reanimate too. So we mill. Also, Mycospawn. Now we'll fetch Bayou. Mill Formidable Speaker. Oh, it's kind of funny. The fast bond hurts us even though we're playing it off Ice Till. Okay, now we mill an island, which we can also play from the graveyard, actually. That's right, yeah, I guess we have infinite on them, kind of, with the fetch land, so we can pretty much just play lands from our graveyard until we find a strip mine, and then strip mine all their lands and win. This is a little bit painful, but hopefully we can find the strip mine sooner rather than later. All right, another forest. Entomb. Survival. Come on, strip mine. I know you're somewhere. Argoif. We have 13 spells left in our library. Maybe we just stop at Atroxa since we have an animate left in our deck. I feel like we're bound to find a strip mine or wasteland soon though. If we find strip mine, yeah, that would just pretty much be game. So I think it is worth it to keep going. Because we can also bring back a Hogak here. We don't really need reanimate Atroxa. Yeah, we kind of actually do need strip mine. Wasteland wouldn't really do it because we would hit Creeping Tar Pit. They could just replay Island from Exile, cast Pyrogoyf. It's Forest. I'll play that. Into Swamp. Milling all the lands we don't need. Okay, mill the animate. Getting pretty low on life here, but we know the strip mine is somewhere. There it is. All right, and yeah, we have enough life to remove all my opponent's lands. I think we'll go down to 1 HP, which is a little sketchy, but start by hitting there. Um, we found strip mine at the last possible moment. Guess we could play a wasteland to deal with the creeping tar pit, just to flex on my opponent. And now we play the last strip, deal with their last land, cast Hogak, and pass. All right, cast Hogak, and I guess we could attack. Opponent could have like a boomerang basics though. I don't want to risk it. So I have 3 more turns. Get to attack with Hogak every single one of them. Yeah, maybe it is a good idea to start pushing damage. I will attack with Ice still. Yeah, this would really suck. My opponent can deal with Hogak for 1 mana, and then they finish us off. Oh, and Legend of Roku is kind of annoying too. Let's see, do I have any removal spells left in my deck? Not sure. Oh, wow, Bone Crusher to the face. That's pretty annoying. All right. Really spent 15 minutes playing lands just for them to have the top tech burn spell. That's fine. So in this matchup, I think I'll keep it the same. Chrissy Bill is a nice threat. Also gives us lethal damage with the Ice Till plus Fast Bond combo. So maybe we side that in. And let's see, what can we remove? Survival looks decent. I like Terra Sunder. Town Greeter was super good there. Maybe just Formidable Speaker. No, I like that too. Guess we could get rid of Corpse Dance. I think 2 animates might be enough. Yeah, I think we'll get rid of the Corpse Dance. Looks pretty good. Entomb with Atraxa and Hogak in our hand is a little awkward, but we do have a Strip Mine and a Wasteland, which might just be able to carry us. And Inquisition is decent interaction too. So yeah, this hand's a little weak. Do we have anything to Entomb? I don't think so. I could probably draw a better hand than this. And this looks good. We have turn 2 Ancestral Recall. Sowing Mycospawn could find one of our um, Strip Mine or Wasteland. Keep this, put back, forced. Upper Triome. Oh, nice, we dry, so yeah, do that. Hopefully, we can find a Mana Dork. No Mana Dork, but it's fine. Next turn, we can Beargoyf, and then follow it up with Sowing Mycospawn to find a Strip Mine. Alright, no plays for my opponent. Yeah, we'll just Beargoyf. Alternatively, we could Town Greeter to try and dig for a Strip Mine, but Beargoyf pretty much does the same thing as Town Greeter if we get to attack with it next turn. Because if it mills over Strip Mine Wasteland, we can just get it back with Ice Still. So I think Beargrowth probably has more upside. Also uses our mana a bit better. Tap land is great to see. Okay, they evoke Fury. So here, I think we just Sowing Mycospawn, Strip Mine their Xander's Lounge, and then next turn, hopefully Strip Mine lock with the Ice Till. Right, fine, Strip Mine. Strip Mine kills the Xander's Lounge. Then we also have a Hogak that we can cast after doing the Strip Mine shenanigans with Ice Till next turn. Hopefully my opponent doesn't play too relevant of a threat here. Yeah, Bone Crusher Giant is a non-factor. Now we just win. I think I'll put them off red mana. Leave them with 1 black source. Although, yeah, okay, they just concede. Nice. I think I'm happy with the Bristly Bill for Corpse Dance, although this is sort of just a combo deck. Maybe we don't care that much about Bristly Bill. Because yeah, by the time we Strip Mine lock our opponent, chances are we're winning. The only reason my opponent won last game is because they had a Legend of Roku up that triggered to add a red mana, which they then used with their exiled lands to cast a top deck burn spell. So I feel like there's not many situations where that's going to happen. And it's just going to be too painful if we have a corpse dance plus like entomb hand, um, or sorry, a bristly bill plus entomb hand, and we know we could have had corpse dance. Yeah, bristly bill is a lot better for a curve though too. I don't know. It's kind of a tricky decision. I think I'll continue to try the corpse stance. Our outs for reanimator are honestly pretty solid. We have a bunch of discard outlets plus entomb, three reanimate spells, and Atroxa. Um, been a little bit unlucky with drawing those, but I mean we've finished off our opponents with our strip mine combo most games, so great. Turn to reanimate. If we draw land, so hmm, I could either lead on currency converter, hope to draw land, or I could go birds. I guess either way, I'm not reanimating a Troxa turn two, so probably leading on birds is better. Opponent with their own currency converter. We draw a tap land. Yeah, I think I'll go birds. If my opponent discards a reanimation target, we could snipe it as well. Pest Infestation can also deal with the converter before they get too much value off of it. We're gonna draw Corpse Dance. So yeah, here we could exile the converter or play one of our own. If we wait on converter and miss our land drop, we won't be able to activate plus animated Truxa, so probably better just to play out the converter pass turn. See what my opponent loots away. Creeping Tar Pit. Corpse Dance is nice backup. If the reanimate fails or gets countered, or my Atraxa gets removed after I animate it. Opponent is holding up mana too, so we draw Fast Bond. Start by activating Converter. Discard Atraxa. And don't think I want to put it under. Now we can animate, probably the highest upside. Kind of does feel like a counter spell, but that's fine. If they counter this, we can just Corpse Dance later. And then with Fast Bond, Ancestral Recall, I think we're gonna be pretty close to our infinite combo. Hopefully they're just holding up Converter activation. Opponent spending a lot of time thinking. Right? What is this? Sink into Stupor. Targeting what? Oh, that's right. I think just return my reanimate to hand. That's fine. So this would really not be good if my opponent has a animate effect of their own to snipe my Atraxa, but otherwise, next turn we can untap with Fast Bond, recall, reanimate. It could be holding up another counterspell here. Draw Swamp, so go play that first. Go for the enemy. And if they counter it, we can just Corpse Dance. Okay, they don't. Let's see what we find. All right, I still Explorer, Bitter Triumph, and Wasteland. Oh, wait, there's a strip mine. Definitely want to take that over Wasteland. All right, and now I think we just win. Yeah, we can strip mine. Okay, actually, no, we're gonna have to, let's see. So I think we have to recall and hit 2 lands. Um, and then we'd be able to fast bond strip mine ice till. So yeah, I think we'll lead on the recall. Hopefully we find some lands. Sweet. And now we fast bond into island, forest, verdant. Find Bayou, and now we can strip mine lock my opponent. I guess I'll play out the strip mine first to play around like a mana tithe. Oh, hopefully this works. Kind of feels like they're holding up counter magic, but if they do counter this, we can corpse dance ice till next turn, strip mine lock them then. Okay, they brainstorm. Looks like they're digging. I guess in response I could have strip mined their island. Maybe now that I have priority, I strip mine. Yeah, but I guess in response they could just float mana and counter it if they find it. Okay, we get the strip, or we get the ice still. So yeah, I'll start with hitting their island and then finish off the rest of their lands. This looks like GG's. Guess they can make a treasure off currency converter next turn, so they'd have access to 2 mana, but probably a little too late for that. I guess we have to stay out of stomp range. So they could go land stomp. Finish off their last land. And we'll replay strip mine again. Actually, I guess we'll hold off. No reason to take an extra damage. We could also just move to combat here, see if they fizzle their mana. Okay, they activate sorry, they activate currency converter. Now we can tear asunder, I guess. Oh no, they just made a treasure. Nice. Um, okay, they have 4 mana. Not really sure what this is. Whatever it is, though, we can bitter triumph. Yeah, one chi tong's fine. Okay. In order to cast Bitter Triumph, we would need to fetch with Verdant and play a Forest. And we would lose 3 life doing that, which would put us in stomp range. My opponent wouldn't have the mana to use it. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Definitely worse if my opponent has like a 1 mana burn spell, which they could definitely have. So maybe it's just better to pass turn. Wan Tong isn't really lethal. It isn't even lethal at this point, so yeah, we'll just pass. Let's see what my opponent has. They have to have removal for Atraxa plus burn spell to win. Yeah, we win. Nice. All right. We managed to animate the Atraxa and win from there. And yeah, Atraxa is also really nice at finding our strip mine combo. Final match. Let's see if we can trophy. Pretty good hand too. Turn 3, bear. Also strip mine, which I might want to fire off turn 1 to see if we can catch our opponent slipping on their mana. Alright, not an ideal matchup. So my opponent can operate on like 1 or 2 lands, I think. If they are mono white aggro or Boros aggro. So yeah, I'll just lead on a Zagoth Triumph. And it cycles Eagles. It's nice. Okay, it looks like they're top decking lands maybe, so I think I will strip mine. Put them off a turn 2 play. Looks like blue-white. Swings with Giver. Alright, so yeah, I think if we strip mine their Tundra, there's a good chance they'll miss their land drop next turn. And we have plenty of lands, so seems good. Hopefully they miss. There's also a chance they just didn't have a 2 mana play, and that's why they cycled Eagles, but okay, yeah, I think that probably was the case unless they top decked it. At least we put them off blue mana. Fastball is a great draw. We can cast Beargoyf. It's pretty insane. Could also cast Death on Eagles, but it's probably better just to Beargoyf here. Yeah, Fastball was a perfect draw here. Now, next turn, we can Formidable Speaker for Ice Explorer, and then we strip mine lock them the following turn. Okay, Lily is fine. We can just Bitter Triumph that next turn. See if they attack. I assume they do, since they have a Giver up. I guess we won't be able to Bitter Triumph since they do have the Giver runes. So yeah, no blocks here. So I guess what we can do is next turn, if we draw land, play Formidable Speaker, find Ace Till, and then hold up Bitter Triumph in response to the Giver of Runes activation. Let's see, with the exile, Unholy Heat. All right. Nice, we found an island, so we'll play Formidable Speaker, discarding Death. Find ice still. Guess we could just swing. But no, I think it's a good play to deal with the Lelia next turn and force the Give Rune's activation with the block. It's also a chance that they don't even attack, which would be even better for us. Figure of Fable is fine. Block. Opponent gives pro black in response. We better triumph. Paying 3 life. Any other life doesn't really matter with untapped Baraglyph. As long as they can't deal with it, should be fine. We are going to take a little bit of damage, destroying their lands next turn off of Fast Bond, but should be fine. Alright, nice. It's kind of a weird matchup. At first it looked like aggro, but then they showed me 4 colors, so maybe some sort of like mid-range 4-color deck. Not really sure. Um, don't think I want to side in a board wipe. And yeah, I think I like Corpse Dance better than Bristly Bill still. Collective Brutality is also interesting, but I think we'll just run this again. We drew Fast Bond at the perfect moment there with like 4 or like 3 lands in hand. Casting that turn 2 or turn 3 Baragoi was super clutch. His hand looks great. Strip Mine plus Survival to get a Ice Steel Explorer. Could also use Survival to bin an Atraxa and reanimate it with Life Death. See if my opponent has another turn 1. Oh wow, Black Lotus. Alright. Definitely makes my Strip Mine worse. Yeah, kinda doubt I'm beating Black Lotus on the draw, but we'll see what they have to follow it up. If it's any sort of 5-mana threat, I think we lose on the spot, but yeah, 4th Lingus, we lose. Elspeth. Okay, just a robber of the rich. That's fine. But it does get to exile with it. Hopefully they find a 4-drop or a land or something. Okay, they hit Wasteland, which they can't use, so that's fine. We already have Strip Mines. So. Oh, I guess they can. What's this say? Okay, they can only cast anyway, so they wouldn't even be able to play the land even if they attacked with a rogue. Okay, now we actually find Atraxa, so yeah, I think I'll lead with survival. Next turn we can survival away Atraxa into death. And survival probably wants to find Ice Explorer. Yeah, depending on what they use Black Lotus on, we might lose, but right now they're just using it as a lucky charm, which I like to see. Sarah Paragon's pretty annoying too. They can just continue to bring back their Black Lotus. Atrax is a decent answer to Paragon though, so that's fine. Atraxa could also maybe find a fast bond, so we could strip mine my opponent next turn. Okay, opponent found corpse dance. Yes, this isn't looking great, but I think we still have a chance. Into gut second main phase, yeah, I can fine with that. It's gonna be pretty hard for them to attack into my Atraxa next turn. If we, let's see, what should I find here? Probably Ice Tail. Could also find a Barago if it's just a good threat, but no, I think Ice Tail Strip Mine is still pretty appealing. My opponent missed a land drop too, so yeah. So right now we need to find Forest, or sorry, we already have Forest. We need to find Fast Bond with Atraxa. Oops. Have my mana wrong. Yeah, if we find Fast Bond, we can strip mine one of their lands. Um, Better yet, if we find Fast Bond plus removal spell and like a swamp, we could deal with their gut. No Fast Bond, unfortunately, but we do get a Bitter Triumph, which will be good. And I think Hogak is probably better than Sowing Mycoswan Swan at this point, since we already have a strip mine. And I guess I'll just get a swamp. Actually, multiversal passage casts Ancestral Recall, so we'll go with that. Alright, still think I like my spot. If my opponent has no removal. If they do have removal, I think we just lose, but okay, now we just discard Hogak. Maybe discarding a land would be better since we could discard Hogak to survival, but I think we're at that point now to where we don't really need to use a survival anymore. Interesting. They attack with Robber. I guess they could just sacrifice it and then bring it back with Sarah Paragon. So yeah, it's a good play. Next turn we get to gain 7 life though, so yeah, I think we win if we untap. We get to strip mine 2 lands, cast Ancestral Recall, which could find like a fast bond too. And then probably you could return Hogak next turn also. Hopefully they have nothing here. But yeah, if they had a removal spell, they would have fired it off already. Alright. Get the exiled birds off Robber. So they do get to chump my Atraxa with it, but most important thing is that we gain the 7 life. Inquisition is not that good since they can just return whatever I hit with Sarah Paragon. Not really sure why they didn't use Sarah Paragon to cast Robber of the Rich. I think they could have. That's fine. Here I'll probably start with a Bitter Triumph though. Or sorry, start by attacking with Atraxa. And then we can Ice Till, Strip Mine them twice. Okay, they Unholy Heat their own bird to save the life, to prevent me from gaining life. So that's fine. Now I think I actually Ancestral Recall because I'm definitely gonna need to Bitter Triumph the Gut or possibly a Skeleton. And finding Fast Bond would be really good. Actually, I'm not even sure if I can afford to recall because playing Multiversal Passage costs 2 life. I go down to 3. Yeah, I think it's fine. Hopefully find Fast Bond. No Fast Bond, but we get a Baraglyph. And we can convert her too, which is actually really good. So yeah, we can convert her, cast Bitter Triumph, targeting their skeleton token, discarding Inquisition, which we can then use to make a 2/2. Since we can block the Menace token by making it 2/2, maybe it's better just to hit Sarah Paragon to deny them the value. And yeah, I think that is probably better. And we'll discard Inquisition. We can also just discard Town Greeter. Yeah, I don't really care about a Town Greeter. Plage does it. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. Oh man, this is the second game. My opponent's just top decked a burn spell. Yeah. Alright, unfortunate we didn't get to land a hit with our Atraxa since they were able to Unholy Heat the bird. Oh man, that was so unlucky. If they hadn't found exactly Birds of Paradise off the top of my library, they would have been forced to either take it or chump with their Sarah Paragon, which they couldn't have Unholy Heated in response. Seeing Gut, maybe we do want Collective Brutality. Let's see what we can take out. Maybe Terra Sunder? Yeah, Terra Sunder doesn't seem that good in this matchup. Alright, we'll play this time. Pretty abysmal hand. This is good though. And let's see, what do we put back? So we definitely want all our lands to use with fast bond. So I think it's either Speaker or Beargoyf. Speaker can find a Traxa, but it can't bin it. Speaker can also find a piece of my strip mine combo. That's difficult. Beargoyf won't even be that big either. But I think Beargoyf is probably just a better threat. We get to play it out turn 3 too, which is gonna be pretty good. I think we should pass here without playing lands. Save us the life total. Again, almost impossible that my opponent will have a turn 1 disenchant here. And as we saw from last match, I think our life total definitely matters. Super. Alright, no turn 1 Black Lotus. That's good to see. Wow, Ice Till. Okay, yeah, so his hand would have definitely been better with Formidable Speaker, but we didn't know that. And now we Beargoyf. No cards in the graveyard, unfortunately. Just kind of awkward, but it's possible my opponent could cantrip here, play a fetch land, something like that. And if they don't, next turn we kind of need to draw a land or action. Yeah, we didn't draw either. That's pretty rough. Let's see. Guess we'll just pass here. Uh, yeah, we would have been better off just without the fast land here. Or the fast bound. Go to the Lauren now, so yeah, they'll get to deal with my fast bond anyway. If we draw a discard outlet, we're back in it, because we just get to immediately reanimate Atraxa. Oh my god, bro. What? I don't know if I've like these are the two worst draws in my entire deck, bro. What? That is so bad. Okay, yeah, I think we just lose. It's anticlimactic. Literally almost beat a turn 1 Black Lotus, and now this is what we're getting. Oh, my opponent's deck is so bad too. They're playing 4 colors with only basic lands as fixing. Alright, Fire Covenant's fine. We can just reanimate it if we need to. Yeah, if we don't draw a land next turn, I think we'll be forced to reanimate the Beargoyf, even though it's not ideal. Wow. Unbelievable. 18 lands, by the way. Yeah, I mean, that was a good hand. That was a good starting hand. I definitely shouldn't have mulliganed that. We just drew a Hogak into a Traxa, and now they get gut. Yeah, it's over. Yeah, I mean, this is just how it goes, right? Like, worst mathematical draw from me into quite literally the nuts from your opponent. That's great. All right, now sack the Baragoyf to the gut trigger. Put him to no, possibly with the Baragoyf. Oh my god, this deck is bad. Yeah, I mean, don't really need to be good if you can just draft Black Lotus and play against players with these types of draws. It's just a frustrating draft overall. There's so many matches where I just had like my opponent on strip mine lock and then they top deck a removal spell. I mean, my opponent stole the last game from me when I had Natraxa up by top decking the Flage. Just unreal stuff. Yeah, like I'm playing 18 lands, dude. Like you're not allowed. Oh my god, bro. Like you're not allowed to miss land drops when you're playing 18 lands. That's the rule. Jesus Christ, man. What what an unfortunate end to that draft. Yeah, really happy with our deck though. Taking a look at it. Yeah, looking at our deck, we had the Wasteland, Strip Mine, which were great. Two games in a row, my opponents were able to just top deck a burn spell to finish me off after Strip Mine locking them, which was a little unfortunate. But overall, it went pretty well. I think we won a few matches off of it. Fast Bond was great there. Allowed me to win turn one match. Unfortunately, at the end there, Fast Bond ended up not really being helpful. Would have been much better to put that on the bottom and keep the Formidable Speaker on top to then find or to then discard Hogak or Atraxa. Um, but yeah, overall, I think that draft went pretty well. I think we had a good balance of combos in our deck, and they're both really supported. Reanimating Atraxa a few times helped us put together the pieces to our Strip Mine Lock too. So yeah, overall, really happy with that. Hogak wasn't as much of a role player in this deck as I initially thought they would have. Maybe there would have been some reasoning to cutting Hogak for another playable and just playing it as a lands slash reanimator deck. Yeah, it's possible. I could have gotten rid of that, like a Town Breeder or something like that, but yeah, I can't complain too much. And yeah, we lost to the Black Lotus turn one into drawing like six straight seven drops in my 18 land deck, so not much you can do there, but overall, good games, good deck. I think that draft went pretty well. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next one.